Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special episode brought to you by the Bitcoin.com exchange. We're here today with Danish Chaudhry. Danish is the CEO of the Bitcoin.com exchange, and Alex is the co-founder of Trade the Chain. Today, we're going to be talking about the Cent token. But before we really begin and dig into it, I'd like to have my co-hosts tell you a little bit about themselves, their background, and their story. And by the way, I'm Dustin. You'll know my voice as the host of the Bitcoin.com exchange podcast. So, Alex, tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll dig into Danish.
Sure. Thank you so much for having me here, Dustin. So my background starts in the traditional hedge fund space in New York City, and it moved over into crypto on the institutional side about beginning of 2017. And so I've worked on the institutional side in prime brokerage, fund administration, and so forth until just this past year when founding Trade the Chain.
That's great. And Danish, tell us your role.
Great. Thanks, Dustin. I think most people know already I'm CEO of the exchange, of our exchange. My background's in traditional finance. So I have been an asset manager at BlackRock for a number of years, had a couple other fintech startups, and was a VC for a bit. Kind of stumbled upon crypto around 2010, obviously looking at things like the Silk Road, for example. But been involved since then, and I think took the full dive a few years ago, and then started the exchange with Bitcoin.com.
No, that's great. So the community members out there that are listening to today's broadcast, as you just heard, we have Danish with us, and we also have Alex. Today's format, today's flow, we're going to be answering your questions. We had a number of questions that already come in. We're going to ask our two gentlemen here on with us a little bit of those questions here momentarily. And then we're also going to want to hear from you. Today, we're going to be picking what we call the top 5 questions of the day. So the top 5 questions that come in, you'll be eligible to win $20 of the Cent token. And then we're going to be putting up a name a little bit later that you'll be messaged from. But remember, when you bring in your questions, make sure you put in your Telegram handle. That way we know how to get a hold of you. So let's dive in. Danish, I'm going to start with you as the founder of an exchange. That comes with a lot of responsibility. It also comes in many ways with somebody who I imagine it's, you never get to turn it off. You never get to go to sleep. You're always on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So what's this been like for you? Tell us about this journey.
Yeah, you should ask my girlfriend about taking time off. She isn't exactly the happiest about it. But no, it's interesting. I think running an exchange or having an exchange is definitely interesting compared to, I guess previous jobs I've been or the project that you see in the space. I think crypto never sleeps, so you're on 24/7. So there are times at 3 a.m. I'm answering messages on Telegram. And my team and I like to be very approachable. So, there isn't obviously we have a customer support team that's very well versed in taking care of customer queries, but we're very approachable. So I get customers directly contacting me at all times, and we try to fix the problems or issues. So it's a very hands-on, hands-on role and position and company. Obviously we're very customer centric. So that kind of keeps us fairly busy. And yeah, it's we're with our customers through thick and thin. When the market goes up, market goes down. When it's down, it's depressing, but we're still there. And when it's up, everybody's happy and we're still rejoicing, sort of thing. So.
Well, I think it's fascinating, Danish, is that what you've said, it really is this, you are customer friendly, that you are building something. Elon Musk said a number of years ago, by the way, when I work out, I always like to hear motivational speeches. And when they asked Elon about when you build a business, he said, when you build something, build a business where the customer wants you to succeed. And ultimately, it sounds like that's what you've done. You've taken that counsel, you've taken that advice to heart, and that in business and in life and relationships, that success leaves clues. So who on your journey, who's been teaching you? With all this stuff out there, you can get very lost. And I'm going to throw it at you in a few minutes as well, Alex, how do you stay focused? How do you not allow the flood of the market to really drive your own decision-making process? How do you come to a conclusion on things?
I think it's a good question. I think it's part of it's, I guess, training and what we've been taught. I guess, not to speak for Alex as well, but like in the traditional world, you tend to have like a longer outlook, and your goals are longer, and things take 3 to 5 years, right? It's like when we used to invest our funds back at BlackRock. We had a 5-year investment horizon, and there's ups and downs between it, but you kind of stick to your guns on that. I think you learn to weather the storm, and I think that's what I've learned to apply here. Crypto moves really fast, and there's FUD, and there's all sorts of new, for example, regulatory issues that are evolving. New products are being launched, sort of thing. So it's exciting, but I think you just gotta keep that 3 to 5 year goal in mind, that's where we want to be. That's where the exchange needs to be. That's where the product needs to be, and just roll with the punches.
And then same question for you, Alex. I mean, you've developed, you and your co-founders, one of the top platforms out there to allow you to understand and get to really see this market from a different perspective and lens. I mean, how's it for you? I mean, when you're building something and it's never been done before, I mean, what is your, what's guiding you? Like, how do you really know the direction to go in?
That's a great question. I think even if you're building something that has been done before, like Danish and Exchange, every experience is so unique. So it's like it's never been done before. I think it's crypto's fascinating because we're so early in it that it's just one continuous education process for everybody. And so just being able to absorb all the different aspects and learn so much more from other people, or to relay that education to other people, it just makes the experience fun. Even when you have roadblocks or tough times, it's a better day than most occupations when you're in crypto.
Yeah, what's interesting, and again, having just talked to Danish about this, is that this market, it's always live 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so then how do you balance time? I have to imagine you probably still want a life, you're outside the computer wall staring at a screen all day. So how do you do that when the market's always moving in different directions? I mean, in 1 minute, the market went up 8%, and the next day it went back down. So how do you manage your own emotions through this process?
Oh, I'm just you become calm, and you learn to I think I've known Danish for quite some time as well, and I will speak for him on this. He doesn't get mad. You just have to be even keeled as you go through this life, and once you learn that, you're okay. So try to leave emotions out of it. Always know that there's up days and down days, and they'll be back again. So prepare.
And I like that. Danish, what's fascinating to me is that when you look at all of the exchanges that are out there in the market, that Bitcoin.com exchange has become one of the top, I think it's 30 or 35, like one of the top in the market, and doing it the right way, building it the right way. I imagine there could have been other ways you could have done it much faster, much quicker, but you knew that in order for it to be sustainable. So talk about that. I mean, how do you build something that is sustainable, that will be around through many years when it's an ever-changing environment, or at least it feels that way?
Yeah, I think people, or we sometimes tend to forget, being in the space, we're barely 2 years old, right? So I launched September 2019, and we're July now, so we haven't even reached 2 years yet. But I think it's a testament to a team. We've taken it with stride, build everything on a day up. Again, we didn't want to do everything at the same time and spread ourselves too thin, a jack of all trades sort of thing. So I think we've taken our time to get here. And I think it's because we really focus on certain aspects of, our customers and the projects that we list sort of thing. They're really at the center of the entire business. And I think that's what keeps us going. I think that's what's going to differentiate us from the rest of the crowd.
So it sounds like what you're saying is this is what's going to continually set you apart in the industry going forward through the years ahead.
Yeah, I hope so.
All right. So today's AMA, we're here to talk about Cent, but I'm a firm believer that trust is earned, respect is always earned. And just a reminder, everybody, that we're going to be giving away, well, not Dustin's giving away, but Cent's going to be giving away to 10 winners today. So for a total of $250 to people. that ask some really, really good questions. We've already had some good ones come in, so I apologize. I promise you we're going to get back to them towards the end. But digging back in, Danish, your role within the Scent project. Talk about that. I mean, this is personal. You and I have known each other for a while. I haven't seen you so excited about a particular project like this before, that this is something for you that does mean more. So talk about it.
Yeah, I think since a great token that we just launched on the exchange about 3 weeks ago. A little bit of background. I'm sure Alex will tell you this before more. And as Alex said, Alex and I have known each other for a long time. Alex started Trade the Chain last year, and it is an amazing company that provides users with sentiment data on the market. So, you've got your traditional technical analysis traders, like drawing charts, etc. The whole other side of it is the whole fundamental and sentiment analysis of what people are saying about a project on Twitter or Facebook or wherever else, and that drives a user sentiment and tells you if something is bullish or not bullish, etc., etc. And I've been a part of it for since Alex started, and I've gained a lot from it. And I think the community that Alex has built is amazing. And I think we just had the idea to, the natural progression was to kind of create like a governance token that rewarded the community, that rewarded the users that are involved in Trade the Chain, that are part of the community. They've been through the entire journey with Trade the Chain and have gained a lot from it as well. I think it's a way to reward those users with a little sum. So we thought, we'd launch the governance token and kind of have users participate. There's a lot more in store for the token, which I'm sure we'll discuss. But yeah, that's the I guess genesis of Scent.
Well, I like that. So full transparency, I am also a member of Trade the Chain. Full transparency, I do not own the Scent token for those tuning in. But Trade the Chain has been for me an incredible journey to be able to fully understand how this market cycle works. And by the way, it is a cycle. And Trade the Chain, I'm not going to put words in Alex's mouth, but it is not there to give people financial advice or guidance. It's there to give them common sense, to kind of tell them predictive modeling of, hey, here's what's happening in this market. And also for those of you that are on Twitter all the time, like some of us, it also kind of gives you feedback of what Twitter's talking about. So Alex, on your side, you've been involved in this space for a number of years. I like to think of you as an OG. And also they say when you put yourself around high performance people, you get better. Having you in my community, I get better just being around you. So tell us more about Trade the Chain and also the different founders and their background and how everybody came together, and it works, and it works really well.
It really does, and thank you again. Trade the Chain was the genesis of a conversation, excuse me, that I had with a friend who's the founder and CEO of another company, a data analytics company. And so we discussed, we're both on the institutional side. We discussed about building something around all this analytic data that the hedge funds are using and the institutional allocators are using, and kind of bringing it to the masses via retail market. And so this was a fantastic idea because you always feel like, especially in this nascent market, the retail guy just doesn't have a leg up over a lot of the big whales, so to speak, or the big guys. So we built this thing out over the course of about 4 or 5 months and launched in October of last year. And it is bringing sentiment data. We're doing data scraping, over 2,000 pieces of data contextually around the world, as well as through our partner. We are filtering in Twitter and social media, and we're literally scraping that, removing bots, removing spam accounts, and forming scores for true sentiment analysis on individual crypto coins. And, as everybody knows, the lack of fundamentals in most of these projects creates a void in a signal to act upon, to either invest for the long term or to trade in and out of. And so sentiment has really become a driving factor in that to replace it. And it was amazing. At first, it was a side gig to my institutional job. I have 2 partners, co-founders who are friends of mine. We'd worked together in the past, as well as a team, which we've all worked together in the past as well. So it really, the cohesiveness was spectacular. It became one of the most fun things that I do day to day. And so on top of having these data signals for people to kind of make decisions on how they're going to invest in crypto, we also formed a members only community. And that community, I mean, I remember the first 50 people that joined. It's now in the thousands, and it is 24/7. We have members in 23 time zones, and it's like our family. I mean, they're much a part of us as we are them, and we're hanging out all the time. Each day, going through trade ideas or talking about just life in general, and it's really become this thing that's way bigger than me or my co-founders or our team, and it's amazing. And the Cent token was a genesis of really trying to add even more value through rewards and partnerships and stuff like that, because I'd seen some of my friends who were CEOs of crypto companies, and they had similar things working. And every time we sit down behind the computer, we're like, how do we add more value? How do we give people more, so that they just we want to become the center of their universe in crypto as much as possible. So,
Alex, and I love that, because to me, what I'm hearing is you are creating a level playing field. That the stack, like the stack of chips, for too long have been stacked towards one group, and that this space, this thing that is crypto, it really has been uniting people from all walks of life, from all religions, from all different skin tones, all around the planet, that it doesn't matter where you're located, that it is something that has united us. But at the same time, unfortunately, there are some aspects of it that have divided us. So that's my question for you, Danish, is that it can be very tribalistic in the cryptocurrency space. And as the head of an exchange, that must also bring certain challenges to you, that when you're launching a token or you're launching a coin, now you're making someone else frustrated that you're not launching their token or not launching their coin. So how is that process for you? And what do you do when everyone believes theirs is the true one?
Yeah, good question. I think it's a pet peeve of mine is the whole tribalism that occurs in this space, right? A lot of people that look externally into the cryptocurrency space sometimes equate it to being more of a cult than anything else, when that's not true. I think the whole idea is, or what we should be striving for, and what I promote is more the technology and the use cases, and how that technology can actually disrupt, and then recreate a lot of our users' lives, like from a financial perspective, from a data perspective, or any usability perspective. I think that's what people need to promote, rather than saying, "Hey, my chain is better," or my smart contract's better, sort of thing. I think that's the focus, that everybody has their own. Everybody should get a chance and present a case and whatever it is, but that's what we tend to focus on at the exchange, that we're all equals, and as long as we are helping projects reach the limelight, we're doing our part. We don't tend to hold a personal opinion for or against anything, and we promote them all equally, because we obviously legitimate projects that are actually building something and looking to change something. So yeah, it's just keeping that focus and keeping that mindset on, and blocking out all the other noise.
And I appreciate that perspective. Alex, you've been in the traditional landscape for a while, and I imagine the conversation that in the early days, many of them must have asked you, like, what are you doing? Why are you trading Bitcoin? Why are you trading Ethereum? And now they're coming to you to say, hey, what should I do? And you're saying, well, this is just my opinion and what I'm doing for myself. So what sort of counsel and guidance do you give new people when they're coming into the space? And then Alex, and then Danish, I'm going to throw the same at you.
Another good question. I mean, you're so right. I mean, there's a lot of people, friends of mine, that are senior in traditional finance, and if you're having drinks or dinner, they'll be doing exactly that. So what are you doing? And that's only if they know what crypto is, and if you get past that. And then the education really becomes, of course, it's about seeing how much upside there is during a bull market. People get excited. But after that, it really comes down to teaching them how to use crypto, how to set up wallets, how to transfer it, and all the basic stuff that we take for granted because it's our everyday. But that's the fun stuff. So, but yeah, it runs the gamut from 20-year-olds to 50-year-olds and beyond, all at the same level.
So I'm going to have to kind of talk about this because I know what's going to happen on Twitter at some point. Some I don't know, Twitter scammer trolls going to mention something that there's a free giveaway to go through them. Danish, talk about that aspect of Twitter, YouTube, and some of the others. You know, some of these scams that are going around. Can you tell the audience that's tuning in, again, from all walks of life, what not to fall for? Because a lot of this stuff does look legit from the surface.
Yeah, I think it's people are clever, right? Like every day I encounter some new scam that somebody started, and most of it, like some of it is close to even confusing myself, and I'm almost like, oh my god, what is this? This is like, you know, like really, you've the sophistication that people have got into, it's just crazy. If only they use their brain power for, you know, doing something else rather than scamming people, it'd be a whole different world. But yeah, I think I always say, like, you know, do your own research. By that I mean, you know, if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. Nobody gives out free coins. Nobody gives out free anything. So, you know, when people say, hey, follow, like, right, retweet, send me 1 BTC, I'll send you 3 back, that's definitely a scam. I think, like, you know, definitely, you know, use enough protection on your computer so that you're not downloading any malicious code or software. Always listen out to you know, advice that other developers are giving. For example, we had there was a token that was airdropped to a bunch of people, and when you authorized it, it took away all your coins within your wallet, sort of thing. But immediately there were warning signs out, and you know, those are the things you need to keep an eye on. There was actually a very sophisticated scam / hack that occurred where somebody I know went to search for a ledger. It's like a hardware wallet. Went to Google, typed in ledger, clicked on the first link that was available. Obviously, it was an ad. He didn't know it was an ad. Took him to a website that was exactly a copy of the ledger website. Didn't check the URL, didn't check the licenses, didn't check anything. Ordered a ledger, loaded up his BTC, and poof, it was gone. Right. So those are the kind of sophisticated scams that exist now. But yeah, I think people just got to really make sure that they're at the right URL, you know, clicking the right buttons, not authorizing or not downloading anything that isn't from a trusted source.
And Alex, because you come from the traditional landscape, like, this isn't really new, right? I mean, this stuff's been going on in the traditional world, some form or another, because what happens is, if I'm the media and I'm the front of Drudge Report or one of the others, that I love to talk about the bad stuff that happens, and yet I rarely talk about the good. But if we were to only highlight the bad stuff that happens in the traditional markets around the world, I mean, what are some of the things that happen behind the scenes and ultimately get caught?
Yeah, you know, first of all, I will say that crypto is at its point in its life cycle where it's ripe for you know, scammers and fraud and stuff like that. But I think people need to take a look at the traditional side, where there is no outlier with crypto per se as there is with traditional frauds, and those frauds occur just as much. It's the same or very similar type of bait that's used in order to take money from individuals. In the end, that's what it's about. And I feel sorry. I mean, we come across people in our community that either click a link or something else that causes them to lose funds. And it's always horrible to watch it happen. But there's nothing more maniacal in crypto than there is in traditional. The dollars are the same, and people will do what they have to do to take them from you.
Well said. So now, as we go into the next part of our segment today, we're going to be answering your questions, and these two are much smarter than me, so I'm really excited you're going to ask them of the questions. So let's throw some of the questions up. Producer John, what's the current market supply of Cent? Alex, I'm going to throw that at you.
Oh, geez. I'm not a chart watcher here.
Oh, my gosh.
With our own token. So I would have to defer this to Danish, embarrassingly enough.
Wait,
That's
what,
actually, yeah.
the one the market
Sorry.
cap or circulation?
Circulation.
Oh, it's like I think the circulation is super low because we haven't given it to many trade to chain users yet. I mean, we have, but
I believe.
sorry.
We're tranching it.
Yeah, we're tranching it. So I think the first bits go out. So the current circulation maybe like. Good question. Actually, I have no idea. I'm Alex.
That's actually a good thing because it means that you're not here to shill anything, which is good.
Yeah.
We're actually talking about utility and excited to give it away. All right,
Yeah.
Next question. Can you give some information about passive token rewards through exchange and protocol partners? Danish, I'm going to throw this at you, man.
Definitely. So Alex and I.
Alex is happy. He's like, thank God, that's a good one.
Thank God, it's a question, not for me. No, Alex and I spoke to one of the partners that is a layer 2 DEX of sorts. They're called Loopring. They're going to be the first ones to host Cent as a reward pool. So I think people will be able to stake the Cent they receive as part of Trade to Chain, and stake it there, earn more Cent for I think a period of total of 3 months. And those who actually have Cent will also receive a discount on trading fees on their exchange. So multiple bits and pieces that are coming with Loopring right now.
I want to expand on that too, because the whole genesis of this is to create almost like have a rewards program for Trade the Chain members. So, to what Danish just said, we're getting listed on Loopring, and there's going to be staking and APY rewards and execution rewards. Coming from the institutional side, we decided to call up all the counterparts that we know, which is a lot of people in crypto, and start asking them to be a part of this program. And so there's going to be various rewards depending on the various counterparties that our members use all the time. So whether it's an APY platform, or whether it's a trading platform, or whether it's the ability to purchase something from a retail platform, or if it's earning Cent tokens based on our affiliate program membership or membership in itself. So we want to build this program out, and we have a lot of conversations going on. We're executing them one by one now, and that program will be, if you're a Trade the Chain member, there's going to be at least a decent chunk of places that you already use crypto or interact with crypto, but will now be able to get an incentive for being a Cent token holder at a various level.
That's great. Next question. So we're definitely looking forward to another trading competition.
Mr. Alex,
do share. Let's talk about that. And then also reminder, when you're asking questions, make sure you throw in there your Telegram handle, because at the end of this AMA, we're going to be sending you a private message from Antonio Bellecci. You're going to be getting it at Antonio Bellecci on Telegram. So for those of you who just want to literally bombarded with messages, go for it. Like, he's going to love me after this. But so the best questions. So again, when you ask a question, please put your Telegram. All right. So back to the question, Alex, for you.
Yeah. So I love trading competitions. I love competitions of any kind. It's in my nature. It's fun. So I believe we just held a bid trading competition over at Bitcoin.com exchange. And then we have another competition. I believe we have one with Loopring. There's some sort of contest or something going on there. Yeah. And that's, right. So that's coming up in actually 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks, I believe. So that'll be the next one. And then, of course, what we always do at Trade the Chain is, for our members, we always have giveaway contests. And so, like, we just did a big giveaway contest during the month of July. And then for August, I'm not allowed to say anything, but we have something even bigger, which is more experience-based. That we're holding contests for members as well, and it's a huge prize.
I think we should also, part of this, just my question, actually, I just realized I forgot to ask Alex this, is maybe you can highlight the NASCAR traveling you've been doing recently.
Yeah, so Trade the Chain is partnered up with driver of the number 4 Xfinity Series NASCAR race car, Landon Castle, and so we have a sponsorship on there, and that is actually going to be part of the August giveaway. So I will leave it at that for the contest and giveaway. But yeah, no, the having crypto. So we're on the car. We co-sponsor with our friends over at Voyager, which is a U.S. crypto broker, and we are Voyager and Trade the Chain are the leading. We started the revolution. We paid the race car driver his contract in cryptocurrency, which was a first in sports to really have that done. And then, of course, having a race car that has cryptocurrency companies all over it. So us and Voyager. But the biggest thing for us that we wanted to do with sponsoring NASCAR at that level and being on, television every weekend at the races was because NASCAR has a really tight-knit community and fan base. And so that's what we pride ourselves on, which is our community and how close-knit we are. And so our goal was, listen, NASCAR has very similar points when it comes to their community, and let's bring crypto into that community, and hopefully vice versa. NASCAR comes into our community, and so forth and so on. So we just looked at the commonality between the sport and what we've created, and we decided to bridge it.
I love the fact that you're engaging now with an audience, a new type of audience around the world, that there is this fascination. I mean, again, for those of us that still listen to and watch the mainstream media, that every day articles are going out about how many people around the world, and I will not name names, certain financial institutions that first said we don't even get close to it. Actually, we'd fire you if we heard about you trading it. They're now in the space and doing it. So here you are leading the charge, Alex, which is very exciting. So let's next question. This is cool. All right, at Gaming Monsoon. Where can I see your podcast, Dustin? So you can go to podcast.bitcoin.com. But also, I'm a big fan of Alex's show. So, Alex, how do we hear about Trade the Chain?
You can go to YouTube and go to Alex Mascioli. I know it's hard to spell, but it's there on the screen. Alex Mascioli Crypto. And that's on YouTube, and we do a daily Monday through Friday markets broadcast, as well as I bring in all my cool friends from around crypto, high profile guys, and sit down and do roundtable series.
This guy right here, I heard a rumor that Dustin might be coming on your show here soon, that the two Trade the Chain, like, what are we waiting for? Let's bring them together.
Of course. No, 100%. We're pushing our way to 20,000 subscribers. And a little over a year ago, when I had 0 and decided to do this, Mr. Handsome over there, Danish Chaudhry, I called him up. I said, listen, you come on while I experiment with this YouTube stuff. No one's going to watch. So don't be disappointed.
The early days.
Yeah. So by the way, I'm going to tell you right now, Gaming Monsoon, that's one of the best questions. How do we learn more about you guys? So I'm telling you, you're a winner of this thing already. All right. Can you educate us on the benefits of holding the cent token? I mean, use cases for it.
Yeah, so the biggest use case for it is the MLP, the member loyalty program. So that's where as the different selected partners, if they're in a earn pool and they're on our program, our members will get, and cent holders will get, higher earn ratios. If they trade, buy, and sell cryptocurrency on our exchange partners, whether it's a DEX or a centralized exchange, they'll get reduced trading fees. And in some cases where those venues have VIP levels, they'll have automatic access to VIP levels. Also, we're bringing that into the retail sector for where members can not only earn cent tokens, but then be able to pay for their membership to, say, Trade the Chain with cent tokens, as well as a bunch of other things that they'll be able to pay for too. We're actually working right now on various retail reward infrastructure for the cent token.
I like that. And Alex, you and I have been talking regarding the community members that are in the Trade the Chain. I call it the tribe, right? That those that are doing really well, those who have been able to, and I think you mentioned one individual that had a complete career change because now she sees things that, well, in the past, she just didn't know what she didn't know. So talk about some of the success stories in Trade the Chain.
Yeah, we have a channel in our member only Discord called the Winner Circle. Obviously, after racing, a little acronym there. But in the Winner Circle is where members post their winning trades. So if they have a great trade they made off the sentiment dashboard stuff, they'll post in there, and everybody gets to share in those victories. We also share in our defeats, but the victories are really the good ones, especially when we have a member who's like, "Hey, I just joined. I've already, just made my second or third trade, and I've made 2 years worth of membership off it." And those are really cool stories. But going beyond that, we actually have one of our earliest members who's a gal from the United States. And I believe it was over a decade, she was working as a waitress for a taco restaurant. And just a few months ago, she was able to retire. And so that was really special. And she's full-time crypto investor, crypto trader. She's in the community every day, morning to night. And she's the unofficial leader of our female contingent. So we have a bunch of females in the community as well, using sentiment data and chatting back and forth. But yeah, that was a awesome story. And that's why we do this.
I love to hear those success stories. And so here, a good question came in regarding either insurance companies or some sort of protection. But I'm going to phrase the question like this, because I have to tell you, now having been in the space for a while, there's this thing called a rug pull, where the I would say the people that help found a project, they're in it, they make their money, and they quickly run out. So what's preventing a rug pulling? And I know some of the team members, and I know the people around the world. They want to know. Talk about that.
Yeah, so I'm just going to talk for Danish right now. So Danish, who runs the Cent Token team, so what we've done is, one, we've completely bifurcated the two. And so even though Cent acts as our governance and member loyalty program token, there's a bifurcation, a separation of both the token and the company. And so that was the first thing. And we got that from Wall Street, right? That's called the Chinese wall. So one doesn't have control of the other. And then two is the Cent token was put out in a fair launch. It wasn't pre-sold. There was no mining. There was no money transacted to us for the Cent token at all. Its sole purpose is to reward the members and the Cent token holders, which we have some programs, even if they're not, don't happen to be trade the chain holders, whether it's investors, speculators, or whatnot. But it was fair. It was a fair offering that happened on the Zero Exchange. Danish and his team put that together with the Zero Exchange, now Relay Chain team, who's fantastic. And it was offered fair launch. People got it. We've given tons of it away in various contests. And then also, I know the Cent team has locked up the treasury contracts for a very long period of time. So those, no matter what, cannot be sold, pulled, or any of that stuff for quite some time.
Now, in terms of hacks that have happened in the market, most recently there was an announcement regarding ThorChain. What chain is this built on? And talk about the security aspect.
I'll let Danish speak. Danish, yeah, talk about the protocol Cent tokens built on.
Sorry, that's a great question to come back to. It's built on Ethereum. It's an Ethereum token. So I think it's mainly because it's got the biggest user base.
Yeah, and I'll elaborate on that. Ethereum, obviously, the people who aren't fans of Ethereum can say all they want, but Ethereum is why we have so many cool projects. Also why we have so many bad projects. But Ethereum is the catalyst for it all. So when it came time for the Cent team to launch the token, Avalanche, BSC, all those were taken into effect. There's a lot of projects coming out on BSC and whatnot, but there just wasn't that adoption 100%. And either that, or we weren't comfortable with, a particular chain or something like that. Now, this is all going to be a moot point soon, because the acceleration and development of cross-chain trading and bridging and stuff like that, it's for our type of token. It doesn't really make a difference. We wanted to be on the one that's the most widely adopted for utility's sake.
And that is a fact that Ethereum is widely adopted. So in terms of, promising users, I mean, the challenge for anything is that I always say, like in business, don't promise, deliver. Talk about long term. What is it that you plan to deliver with this project?
Well, I mean,
I would say, what is the team of developers and everybody? It's not Alex. I mean, you're not the one running this thing, but what is
no.
the project as itself? I mean, ultimately looking to deliver on.
Well, in case I do want to say, in case that was short term or long term for returns on the platform, we don't promise that, as you say, Dustin, and we're not financial advisors, so we don't advise in that. But as far as the program's concerned, Danish, what is your vision?
For Cent, I think we want it to be, I would say like the top, at least in the top 100. I think there's multiple things for Cent coming in. It's not just exchange partnerships. I think, as Alex said, there's other loyalty rewards. From a retail perspective, that are coming in, like you can make purchases, you can give people gifts, etc. Obviously, more coverage around various exchanges, and I think really, there's other products that Cent will launch that we can't mention yet, but soon, which will give people more use and access to trade the chain's analytics, but at the same time, kind of help them, manage their portfolio better, etc. So really, Cent is not just a token to give out as rewards. It's going to be an entire ecosystem that's going to cover everything.
And one of the most important things, and why we're always developing and learning the MLP program for the Cent token, with Danish's team, kind of saying, "Hey, this is what we want," or maybe this would be cool, and they're like, "Yeah, no, that's garbage." I look at Simon Yu, who's been a friend in the space. He's the founder and CEO of StormX, and they have a tremendous reward program for their users in the app, as well as in-app staking. So we've taken cues from them and what we're developing for Trade the Chain and Danish's for Cent, as well as others, platforms that we respect. We love our guys over at Swissborg, which is a EU based crypto broker. They have a couple of really cool things they do for their community. So we're just pulling what the best things are as ideas and begging Danish to implement them as we go along. So, and also we're this is a token that is associated with a company that is active, cash flow positive, thousands of members. It's not a project in hopes of what we can do. We already do it, and we added the loyalty token after the fact. So really excited about the tangibility of Trade the Chain and its association with Cent.
So a new question has come in talking about the exchange, and we talked about that at the beginning. What does separate Bitcoin.com exchange? What makes it different? But talk about some other advantages to working with the Bitcoin.com exchange. If you're a token, if you're a project, and you're looking to list.
I think a token or project that's looking to list with us really gets the white glove treatment. I think we tend to work with them from the very beginning of the listing process all the way through their lifetime with us. Very hands-on. We do like weekly calls, make sure that their goals and targets are being met. We help them with everything from, while the tech team works in the integration, we work with, getting the market makers on, get them the right kind of liquidity, and then, kind of prepare all the marketing that they prefer or they would want. So we get them, obviously Bitcoin.com News is a huge outlet, and it's a very well-revered publication, or I guess you could call it publication, a news site. And so we try to work with projects to get them some press over there. Our team supports them using all our social media support, and we do various activities and draw as many eyeballs onto the project as we can. And I think that's it's not just a one and done sort of situation with us. I think we stay with our projects throughout the time they're working or listed with us. So even if it's like 6 months down the line, a year down the line, they want to release something new, they want to announce something new, we'll happily support them and give them the same kind of treatment. And we've got, I don't think any dissatisfied listing projects with us so far.
That's great. And then Alex, on your side. Yeah, Alex is as Alex on your side, I'm looking to join Trade the Chain. I've been promised a lot of things by a lot of people. There's a lot of kings and queens out here that I joined their communities and they made promises and great returns and everything else. And I know you don't do that, but what if I'm not happy? So talk me through, if I sign up, how many days do I get to decide if I just don't want to be a member of your cool club anymore?
Yeah, absolutely. So we make it really easy to enter, but we make it just as easy to exit if you're not satisfied. So first of all, when you go to tradethechain.com, we have a 14-day, no questions asked refund period. After that, it's month to month, and so you can cancel at any month. You're not obligated in any long-term commitment whatsoever. So it's essential, and you can talk to us all the time if there's guidance, education. We do live Trade the Chain AMAs for members every Friday for them to ask all their questions. We do our daily shows, which we utilize Trade the Chain platform in. But it is, if you're not satisfied whatsoever, you can try us for the 14 days at tradethechain.com and leave. Or if you decide to leave after 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, you can cancel any month.
Perfect. And Danish, kind of some closing thoughts that you have regarding this market. Again, emotions are very high. Yesterday, some news came out regarding Amazon was going to be accepting Bitcoin, and then a couple hours, and news came out that Amazon's not accepting Bitcoin this year. So how do we keep our emotions, expectations, and not allow ourselves to be indoctrinated? So kind of give us some closing remarks on going forward, because every day they don't get to have access to three cool guys like us on here telling them what not to do. So talk to them so this can last at least until the next AMA.
Yeah, I mean, the market's in a funny stage right now. I think we had a lot of euphoria in Q1, coming into Q2. I think obviously the market was overheated. We knew that, and then when the bad news comes, it all comes together. It's kind of uncanny that China FUD starts and some of the FUD starts and everything kind of just balls it up together. And now we're kind of recovering. And I think, summer's always a period where we kind of go sideways in the market for the most part. But I think what's coming over the next few months is very interesting. And I think people just need to kind of, how we were talking about, keep an even keel and, keep the wits about them. Is we're going to see, I believe 28th is one of the bigger announcements coming around by the Fed, I believe, about stable coins at least, or some sort of some announcement regarding cryptocurrencies. I don't know the exact specific, but there is a big announcement tomorrow. I think, you've seen Janet Yellen come on, you've seen everybody else come and speak about, putting more oversight and regulations around cryptocurrency. And I think people need to kind of keep in mind that it's progress, and it's forward progress, it's positive progress. It can't be the wild, wild west anymore. And I think that's where it'll start growing. I think we'll see a lot of jurisdictions come about and start saying, hey, you need the proper licensing, you need proper tax codes, all that sort of stuff. And I think that's all for the better. And I think,
and by the way, I don't mean to cut you off, but for those listening in, the CEO founder of the Bitcoin.com exchange say, I think regulation's a good thing. It's not a bad thing, because you cannot live in the wild, wild west. For those of you that are waiting for Moon, whatever you think what Moon is, but Moon doesn't happen unless a new group of people come in, and the new group of people, we say the bigger clubs, right? Like the rest of the world, they won't come in until they feel safe. And from a regulatory aspect, the Bitcoin.com exchange, and I'm not going to put words into the Danish's mouth, but you've designed something that is sustainable, something that works. I'm excited today that we could have this show that is brought to you by the Bitcoin.com exchange. And Alex, thank you so much again for sharing your story. Again, I'm very fond of you. You know that. We know each other offline. Thank you again for all of you that tuned in, and for the 10 lucky winners. And I'm going to butcher the names, and I'm really, really sorry. but it's Ghetto 8. Margarita Shabira 302654 Gaming Monsoon. Lowen Cop 13 Medi B Ogawawa. I apologize. Moon Panda _ IO Alston Carlisle. And then for those of you out there, excuse me, that ask questions that we didn't see, apologies. Please put them into the Twitter. Please tell a friend. Share this with somebody that needs to hear about it. And again, thank you for tuning in. I'm Dustin, your host, and this was the AMA featuring my dear friends Alex and Danish from the Bitcoin.com exchange. And you've listened to another episode of the AMA. Thanks again, everybody. See you next time.
Thanks, Dustin.